Hi friends, today we have another set of simple but extremely useful tips that will help you to save time and money. Well, let's roll. How can you control the wood sanding process? How do you know where and how much have you already sanded? Well, if you don't do this, the consequences can be very unpleasant. For example, while sanding the edge of a plank, you can end up destroying the geometry of the workpiece, or even worse, sanding through a veneer, the thin layer of wood glued to a workpiece. And there's nothing you can do about it. You'll have to reglue everything. How can you protect yourself from such problems? With one simple action, or rather a simple pencil. Grab a pencil and outline the entire surface that we're going to sand. Now we can clearly see where we have already sanded and where we haven't, and will not make a mistake. A simple pencil for a simple solution. A hand hacksaw is quite a useful item. Well, if you don't have an angle grinder, of course. But here's a question. Where to store this whole pile of canvases for it, so that you don't need to constantly look for them, and they are always at hand? Use a couple of pieces of tape, and the canvases will always be in your sight. They won't get lost, and at the same time won't interfere with your work. And now, let's move on to the next step. When repairing wooden items, you can of course simply glue back a piece of wood that has completely fallen off. We simply glaze it with glue and press it back with a clamp. As simple as that. Well, so how do you pour the glue deep into a thin crack, where you simply can't reach? We use dental floss for this purpose. We will glaze it all with glue wherever possible, and begin working with the floss. Check its shape to see how deep it goes, to the very bottom of the crack, glazing even the most inaccessible parts. Now you can glue everything else. As per good old tradition, the excess glue is removed using wood sawdust or wood dust, which absorb the glue well. And that's all. Now you only have to wait until it dries. Dental floss is a great solution. The next tip will come in handy to auto mechanics. If you strap your socket wrench with a rubber band, when working in hard-to-reach places, you will never lose a bolt if you place it on the rubber band. Thanks to friction, the bolt will stay intact. Let's move on to the next step. If you have goggles with impact-resistant glass, nothing is scary for them. You can put them anywhere and just throw them with other tools. But if your goggles are made of modern polycarbonate, they should be well taken care of and not thrown away anywhere. The simplest and the cheapest case for these glasses is an ordinary thick sock. It can be placed in a toolbox or hung in the workshop. Simple and efficient. Why could an ordinary chain become useful during markup? In capable hands, it turns into a magic divider with a small step that can be used in different situations. What could be easier? The next tip was a real breakthrough for me. The profile cutting of polystyrene is carried out either by incandescent nichrome wire, which produces noxious fumes, or by means of a fretsaw, which ends up with lots of dust everywhere. How does one get rid of both of the problems? Especially if you work with polystyrene at home. One simply has to grind away all the teeth from the nail file. Can a completely toothless nail file cut anything? Let's have a look. Surprisingly, it cuts well, just like the one with the teeth, producing little to no sawdust, leaving single fritted pieces. Ingenious, whatever one may say. Well, that's all for today. Subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any new videos. Good luck to you all, and all the best.